Hello and welcome to another exciting English class. Our topic today is vocabulary development centered on COVID-19. I still remain your teacher, Iquo Essang. Let's look at a brief history of the disease called COVID-19. COVID-19 is believed to have started in animals and spread to humans. This was suspected after the initial outbreak in December 2019 among people who had a link to a large seafoods and live animals in Wuhan, China. COVID-19 is an infectious disease that comes with symptoms like cough, fever, shortness of breath, and other symptoms. COVID-19 is just an abridged name for the disease. So let's see what the next slide has for us concerning COVID-19. CO stands for corona, VI stands for virus, while D stands for disease. 19 stands for the year which COVID-19 was detected. So, in sum, COVID-19 is coronavirus disease detected in the year 2019. The picture here symbolizes a thread of coronavirus in human body. The first word to be considered in this our vocabulary development class that is related to COVID-19 is lockdown. A lockdown is an emergency measure to restrict individuals from certain areas in an attempt to control transmission of a disease. If you look at the picture here, you will see that beautiful lady that's enjoying a period of lockdown at home. So it is advisable for all of us to do the same during this period. Ventilator. A ventilator is a machine that is designed to move air in and out of the lungs for a patient who is physically unable to breathe or who is not breathing well as a result of a serious ailment like COVID-19. See the picture here. You will see patients that are being aided to breathe with the use of ventilators fixed to their mouth and their nostrils. The next word to be considered here is super spreader. A super spreader is a highly contagious individual who can spread an infectious disease to a large number of uninfected people through a network of contact. I'm sure you can see this beautiful lady. We are using her as an example of a super spreader of coronavirus. So you can see how fast she can spread the virus to people that come close to her. That is why we say that you should stay at home and do your work if you don't have any serious business at home. Outside rather, if you don't have any serious business outside during this pandemic period. Epidemic. Epidemic is a widespread occurrence of an infectious disease in a community or geographical area. Look at this cartoon. The picture here resembles a particular community that is suffering from an epidemic of corona, for instance. So this particular community is experiencing an epidemic at this time because almost everybody in this community is infected by the coronavirus. Pandemic. A pandemic is a worldwide spread of an infectious disease that affects a large proportion of population. Right now, the whole world is experiencing a pandemic of coronavirus. So we can take this picture to be the picture of the whole world. And other things on top of the red picture symbolize the spread of coronavirus that has affected the whole world, including Nigeria. So the period that we are in is a period of pandemic related to coronavirus. Patient zero. A patient zero is the first individual infected with a disease during an epidemic. A patient zero can also be called an index patient. So when you hear somebody mention patient zero or you hear a medical personnel talk about patient zero or an index patient, you should know that the person is referring to the very first individual that was infected with a disease during an epidemic. Index case. An index case is the first documented case of an infectious disease. You should take note of that. Self-quarantine. The act of refraining from any contact with other individuals for a period of time to observe if symptoms will arise after potential exposure is what we called self-quarantine. So in case someone has exposed himself or herself to a particular environment that he or she is not so comfortable with at this period, it is advisable for such a person to stay indoor and watch his body system or her body system for a period of 2 weeks to see if any symptom of coronavirus will arise. But God forbid, it will not be your portion. Remdesivir. Remdesivir. Remdesivir is a promising drug for the treatment of COVID-19 and was developed to treat Ebola. So the picture here is what remdesivir looks like. So you can go online and browse more, learn more about the drug called remdesivir, but don't self-medicate. Vaccine. A vaccine is a biological preparation of organisms that provides immunity to a particular disease. As it stands today, coronavirus has no vaccine. No vaccine has been discovered yet for coronavirus. So that is why it is advisable for us to be extra careful in the way we mix up at this period of coronavirus pandemic. There are some abbreviations connected to this. PUI. PUI stands for person under investigation. So when you hear somebody or a medical personnel mention PUI or say that the person is a PUI, you should know that he is saying that the person is under investigation and that person is also suspected as potentially having coronavirus. We also have WFH. WFH stands for work from home or working from home. As I have said earlier, if you don't have any serious business outside your home, do yourself a wall of good by working from home. Due to time factor, we won't be able to exhaust all the words or most of the words that are related to pandemic, to coronavirus in this class. So I have listed them out here for you to research on and send me your and send me the meaning of these words as your assignment. So the first word here is symptomatic, symptomatic, pre-symptomatic, asymptomatic, immunosuppressed, immunosuppressed, immune surveillance, immune surveillance, social distancing, flattening the curve, epidemiology, hydroxychloroquine, hydroxychloroquine, forehead thermometer, and self isolation. So, the sources here will help you to research more on words related to COVID-19. So, make sure you make use of them and send your answers to me as soon as possible. As I have said earlier, if you don't have any serious business outside your home, help flatten the curve of COVID-19 by staying at home and doing your work at home. Until I come your way again, stay home and stay safe and continue to learn. God bless you. Amen.